to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sue of BendnStretch with Sue. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through a Pilates practice that I recently did with some of my students as a live Zoom class, and I've incorporated some light weights. So if you've seen one of these before, you might already know that I have some 2-pound weighted balls that I'll be using, as well as some 5-pound hand weights and some 10-pound hand weights as well. So I'll be varying the exercises with the different weights. You can do this completely without weights, just using your own body's resistance, as I will be cueing you how to engage your powerhouse and add resistance even if you're not using weights. And at any point in time you feel you need to drop them, by all means go ahead and set them aside. You can always stop, stretch when you need to, and really I encourage you to listen to your own body's needs as you move through this practice. It is a no repeats 1-hour practice, so let's get started. And before we do, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and be sure to give me one of these if you like it. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll know when I upload new content, and you can check it out, and you can check me out in the next video. Namaste. As we bring ourselves to standing and bring the feet underneath the hips, and as you bring them a little bit wider than hips, let's just add in a little bit of torso rotation here. A little bit of twisting. You can just let the arms lightly swing side to side. It's a main nice and lifted through the chest. You want to start to be mindful of engaging your powerhouse, and let's bring it back to planting the feet well underneath the hips and the hips underneath the shoulders. From there, take a couple of shoulder rolls, so loosening up into your shoulders, allowing the neck to stay nice and long, keeping the chin level as well. And as you take the arms up on an inhalation, looking up to the hands, over here you can create a tiny bit of a back bend, and then let the arms float back down again. From here, let's reach the arms up. As you exhale, bring one hand down alongside the leg, reach up and over, and slide it down. Inhale, bring it to the center, exhale, switch to the other side, and keep going like that, side to side, as I let someone else in. And from here, you're going to finish it up on the left side, and then bring it all the way back up, and exhale those arms back down at your sides. Take an inhale, reach up. As you exhale, reach forward, pull the belly in. From here, we're creating some rounding in the spine as we articulate into forward fold. Soften your knees, let the arms dangle, and add a little bit of sway here, side to side. You can even bring hands to opposite elbows. We want to stretch into the back, lengthening it out. Belly comes a little bit closer to your thighs as you dangle down here. As you center the body, bring your weight into the balls of the feet, and then bring it into the heels, and switch, or keep shifting the weight forward and back. As you release the arms, plant the feet firmly, and slowly unroll yourself to come all the way up with a big shoulder roll at the top. Let's bring the feet wider, turning the toes outward. Let's reach the arms out to the sides. Inhale. As you exhale, taking your left hand across to the right foot or the ankle or whatever you can reach. Inhale it to the center. Exhale it over to the other side. And let's continue. It's a nice easy twist at the waist. A really nice stretch into those hamstrings. Let's do one more over to the left side, and let's bring it all the way back up. Bring the feet underneath the hips. Let's start to pump up the legs a little bit, get a little bit more blood flow here. And from here we step to the left and tap, step to the right and tap, and continue side to side. You can get the arms going with it as well. Keep going as I let someone else in. Keep going, keep that blood pumping, and making sure that everyone's muted as they come in here. And from here, you can bring it back to the center. As we bring the left heel toward the glute, we step side to side that way. From here, we bring the elbows back, starting to warm up the arms a little bit more, getting into the biceps and triceps. Little squeeze, little pause, and hold. Hold and step, hold, step, hold, step, side to side. So getting those legs nice and warm as well. Let's do one more to each side. And from here, we're going to keep it wide as we squat down. Inhaling to stand straight up, exhaling to squat down. Make sure you're squeezing your glutes on the way up and try to keep your body stacked over top of the hips. And come on all the way back up, keeping the hands to the shoulders here. We're going to reach elbow toward knee and switch. So picking up that leg, using that powerhouse in order to do so. You're leading with the chest, even as you bring the elbow across. Let's do one more each side, and stop it right there. So you should be nice and warm, maybe even starting to feel the heart rate elevating a little bit. From here, we're going to pick up one weight to begin with. Probably want to make it your heaviest weight. We're going to take a goblet hold on that weight as we bring the feet just a tiny bit wider than the hips, breathing in at the top and breathing out to come down into a squat. So again, we want to bring the weight back. We want to keep the body tall, but we also want to have a little bit of an angle to the body. So if you think of the angle that your shins are in, you want to recreate that same angle in your torso. So you're not sitting straight up, but you are leaning forward slightly, but you're not leaning forward so much that you're bent over forward. The next time you come down, we're going to stay here. So really work on perfecting that form. Open the knees, heels are heavy, and let's add some pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it up. From here, we're going to come to the top of the mat, placing the feet underneath the hips. You're going back to that goblet hold, and from here, we're going to take a step back with the right foot, a little lunge here as we bend the knee, step it in, keep some softness in both knees, step the left one back, a little dip here, and step it in and reach it up. Make sure when you reach up, the ribs do not flare out. Bring it back down, step back right, little dip as you bend the knee, and step left, dip down, step and reach, and bring it back, down, keeping the knees bent here, step it back, bend, step, and reach. So we're going to continue with these. We're going to do a total of 10 of them. This is number 3. Reach. Make sure that you maintain that hold of your powerhouse. Pilates basic principle here is control. So if you need to slow it down and maybe do 1 repetition from every 2, you could go ahead and do that. Really, I'm just here as your guide, and you do what you need to do that's going to work to support your body, your strength, so that you're building on gradually. This is number 6. And 7. We really want to be conscious of pressing firmly into the balls of the feet as well as your heels. So you don't want to have your weight too far forward. And ground and reach. That's number 8. Oh, legs getting a little bit tired by now. And we have 1 more here for number 10. And reach it up and bring it back to standing. You can set that weight aside. And from here, open up the chest. Give yourself a really good stretch across the heart. Bring the hands behind the back to open it up. Lifting those hands away from your lower back. Breathe into the chest. Lifting the heart a little bit further forward and upward. And then release it all. Shake out those arms. From here, we're going to pick up, let's go with the medium weights or light weights, I would recommend. We're going to move into some curtsy squats. So from here, we're going to step back with the left leg, crossing it behind the right. So you want to make it a big enough step that you really feel your core having to engage to stabilize, as well as those inner legs that are working outer legs. You're going to curl it up and then reach it up, bring it back, down, and step it in. Cross right behind left. Bend that back knee, curl, reach, down, release, and step it in. We continue side to side. Using the arm extensions while we're in the curtsy squat really makes you have to work harder on stabilizing the body. So the core has to work a little bit harder. And that's a good thing. That's going to help you with all of your functional day-to-day activities. So we have another 2 on each side here. Doing a total of 5 of these, which is 10 because we're doing both sides. And let's finish it up to the right and to the left. And reach it up and bring it back. Whew, shake out those legs. From here, we're going to use one of the weights. You might want to drop down to a lighter weight, or you might want to kind of try it out with what you have right now. Adjust accordingly. You're going to take the feet wider, and we're going to open up the right hand arm as we hold the weight in the left hand. Now we're coming into a cross deadlift. So you're going to breathe in up here, and you're going to reach across towards your right foot to the lowest point you comfortably can with a little bit of an upright row. You're going to reach and lift and squeeze. So continue to focus on really keeping those legs long. Now, don't lock the knee, however. You want to have as much softness as is required in order for you to feel this in the backs of the legs and the glutes, rather than feeling it in your lower back. So you don't want that to happen. Again, you're breathing in when it's easy. Right here. Exhale when it's harder. You can breathe in on the way down, breathe out on the way up. And let's finish with the last 2 right here. Last one. And bring it down. Let's switch it over. So taking your left arm out again, powerhouse is on, glutes are engaged, and we're going to take a breath in, exhale, take a bow, reaching across and lifting as if you had a string on that elbow. Keep going, keeping your body nice and long too. You want to have your head reaching out of your spine. Again, remember, legs are, you should feel this working your hamstrings, the backs of the legs as well as the glutes. Your core is always working because it's there to stabilize your body. So last 2. And last 1. And release it. Whew. Roll out the shoulders again. Reach the arms up and bring the palms together, interlace fingers, press them away from you. Bring your feet underneath your hips. Inhale to get nice and long. Exhale, lean into the right side. Look past your top elbow. Bring it up to the middle. Inhale. Exhale, do the same thing. To the other side, look up. And bring it up again. And release, relax the arm. Shake it out. So we're going to add a little bit more variety here. You're going to want to take probably your medium weights, maybe the light weights. but we're going to place them actually, just hold on to them for now. So we're going to start at the top of our mat. From here, with the weights at your sides, take a breath in, exhale, sink down, bring the weights to the floor. You can walk the feet back to a plank, a little bit of a push-up here, press it back up, step, step, bring those weights up to the shoulders and press them up. Sink, bring them down, all the way down. You can either walk or maybe hop the feet back. Little push up, elbows close to your ribs, walk or hop to bring those feet back. Weights to shoulders, press them up, sink down, and walk or hop. Take it to your push up, press it up, step it in, bring it up, and reach. Squat, down, and hop. Lower, lift, in. So if you're walking this one out, you might be going slower, and that's okay. Again, it's really about customizing to what's going to work for you and your body. So we're going to do one more repetition through here. Bring it in, weights up, reach up, bring them down, and release. Well done. That's a tough one. So from here, let's hold on to the weights as we bring ourselves into a suitcase squat, but this time we're holding on to suitcases in both hands. So if you want, you could actually go ahead and switch this to heavier weights. So I'm going to reach for my 10-pound ones here, and from here, feet under the hips, breathing in and breathing out to get into my squat, and lifting up, bring those weights up, press them straight up, down, bring them down, and squat. Reach. Again, lots of control, so the ribs are never ever flaring outward as you bring yourself to extension with those arms up, or rather, flexion is what it's called. And reach down, bring it down, and squat. So remember, when we started, we had our chest lifted enough so that our torso is in the same angle as our shins. So we want to maintain that. So you shouldn't be sitting straight up with your body and then your legs on an angle. It's really hard on the knees, nor should you be leaning so that your belly is over top of your thighs. So really good combination of leg, glutes, and core. Last one. Bring it down and set those weights aside once again. From here, we're going to go back to using our lighter or medium weights. We're going to place the weights right at the top of the mat. And from here, you want to have room to step back. I'm just changing sides here, give you a different angle. And from here, we are going to take a nice big stretch up. Inhale. Exhale, swan back down. So it's a really nice stretch to the backs of the legs. You might want to indulge in that stretch a little bit more. And soften your knees. Bring one hand under the face. Reach up with the other one for a nice easy twist here. Straighten the leg, your right leg. If you're reaching your right arm up, bend both knees. Right hand under the face. Straighten your left leg. Reach with your left arm and look up to that hand. And bring it back down again. From here, we are going to walk the feet back into a plank position, holding on to the weights. So you want to have yourself on the tops or on the balls of the feet, toes, or you could be down on the knees. You decide which is going to work for you. You can start one way, modify by coming down to the knees, or just switch it up as you need to. You might start on the knees. From here, wherever you begin, Your wrists are under the shoulders. You're going to pull the belly in. We're going to slide the hips back into more of a bear plank. So your belly is still supporting your back, but now your hips come right above your knees. And then you're moving straight to that plank again. Really fire up those legs and keep the body fired up. Keep the shoulders nice and broad so your shoulder blades are separated. Take a breath in here. Use your exhale to come back to your bear plank. And move it forward again. Breathing in, breathing out. So really focus on alignment. Shoulders over wrists when you come forward. Hips over knees when you come back. Keeping those knees lifted the entire time unless you're modifying it and doing it from your knees. So even if you're working from your knees, you're going to bring those hips over the knees, really focusing on that deliberate gliding motion. And let's do one more. And as we bring it forward, hold your plank. And from here, we're going to set one weighted side. Bring hands under the shoulders. If you need a little breather, go ahead and take it. Bring your feet a bit wider than hip width. You're going to reach across with your left hand to bring the weight over to the left side of your mat. Then you're going to take your right hand, move the weight over to the right side. Left hand, move it to the left. Right hand moves it to the right. Try as best as you can to keep your hips nice and stable as you pick up that weight and transfer the weight into the 3 limbs instead of the 4. So let's do another 2, side to side, right to the left, left to the right. One more, left to the left, to the right. Bring the knees down, push it back. Breathe easy here. Let your body really surrender towards your mat. You can have your legs apart here to make it a little bit more comfortable as you sink the belly through the legs, maybe even bring the ear to the mat to give yourself even more release. As you move into a table position here, we're going to stack the joints. So wrists are right underneath the shoulders. Index fingers are pointing straight ahead, thumbs toward each other. With the knees under your hips, press through the tops of your feet as well. Let's inhale into cow. So lift your tailbone, lift your gaze, sink with your belly, and then pull and round it. What a great, really delicious reward to the entire body here. As you take your time to use breath into your linking of movement, and then bring it back to your table position. From here, we slide the hips over to the right side and look past your right shoulder. So creating a little contraction in that right waist. Bring it back to the center. Inhale. Exhale, hips to the left. Gaze past the left shoulder. And bring it back center. Switching it over to the other side. Look to that same direction. Center and hips left. Gaze left. Center. And again. So taking the time to really feel that contraction through the side waist as you're coming into these lateral cats. One more to each side. And bring it back to the center. Taking your lightest weights now, we're going to bring those to the top of the mat. From here, we're moving down very gradually and gracefully, key word there, gracefully, from a plank, high plank, to a negative push-up. So that's probably a little easier than a positive one. We're moving down instead of up. So from here, starting in that plank position, from toes or from knees once again, with a beautiful stacking of the wrists, spreading the hands nice and open, pulling the belly in. So keep that body straight. Don't let your knees sag. Straighten out those legs. Reach the head forward. Do not let your nose touch the floor before your chest. So let's aim to get the chest down first here. Whether you're doing this from your knees or your toes. Take a breath in. Come on up onto the tippy toes. Bend the elbows. Keep brushing your body with your elbows lower down. Bring the chest down, thighs, and then the nose can come down. Bring the arms at your sides and bring the ear to the mat. So take a few moments here. From here, we're just going to allow the body to soften. Take a moment to just let everything go completely so that we can give time to recharge, re-energize, get that prana, that breath into the body. And from here, as you bring the weights out away from you, we're going to reach the arms nice and long. You're going to lengthen your spine as well, so your tailbone is tucked. From here, maintain the tuck of your tailbone. Lift your belly button as if you're trying to pick it up off the floor. And we are going to slide the shoulder blades in, down the back. And from here, take an inhalation, exhaling to lift your right arm and your left leg and lower them down again. Breathing in here and switch to the other side, keeping the limbs long. Now, if it's too much for you to do this with weights, go ahead and do it without weights. We really want to target this, the back, the whole posterior chain here. We're working from the shoulder, the upper back, the lower back, the glutes, the hamstring, all the way through to our feet. We maintain control as we alternate side to side. Using that exhale to really help you to lift up, keeping the limbs long. And let's finish with one more to each side. And bring it all the way down. Bring the arms back at your sides, palms up, opposite ear comes to the mat as you take a little rest here. As you bring the hands back outside of the ribs, we're going to tuck the toes under. So again, you're going to prepare yourself. And now we have the perhaps dreaded positive push-up. So we're moving from the floor upward, but really take time to prepare. So even if you're only doing one here, make it the very best one ever. So think about grounding through those toes, activating the glutes, backs of the legs, the upper back. Separate your shoulder blades. Do not let them tent. That means they kind of pop upward. You don't want that to happen. We want to engage the serratus anterior here, right alongside of the ribs, around, hooks up to the oblique muscles. So we want to really focus on the whole body, reaching the head forward, and keep your head in line. Take a breath in here. Exhale, press up about an inch away from the floor, and hold it right there. Hold it. Take another breath in. Come up halfway, right around elbow level. Keep your body straight. Take another inhale. Press it all the way up to full extension of the arms. Bring the knees down and push it back once again. Beautiful long child's pose here as you intend the hips back. As you move to come onto your side, we're going to move into a side plank. I would say using your lightest weight probably, or your medium weight. And we're going to stack the elbow right underneath the shoulder. Your bottom knee is going to be bent and your top hand is resting on its straight top leg. Now you can stay here with your bottom knee is going to stay bent. Most likely, if you want to straighten the bottom leg, you can go ahead and do that. You can keep the hip down, or you can pop the hip up as we lift the leg. So just let the weight rest on your leg so that you're just holding it there lightly with the fingers. but you are flexing the ankle, lifting and lowering that leg. So you're adding to your normal resistance, and you're also working the obliques. You're working that serratus anterior. You're working your core muscles, your powerhouses on as we work the abductors and the adductors on the legs. So there's lots going on. So if it feels demanding, that would be why. And from here, let's hold it up, hold it. Let's do some pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it all the way down. From here, let's take it to a mermaid stretch. So you bend the right leg, which was the bottom one. So if you were doing it on the other side, just bring your bottom leg in front of you, bend the other leg so the knee kind of scoots into the arch of the foot. Bring your heel a little closer, right hand to the floor. Take a big breath in, reach up and lift those hips for a really good stretch through the side of the body. Lift the hips up a little bit more. Look up past your top arm. Breathe in, get long, and breathe out, bring it down. Excellent. Let's switch it over to the other side as we prepare to come into that same movement, that same exercise as we hold into that side plank. So as we extend the top leg, bottom arm lines up, so shoulder over, elbow, forearm out in front of you, opening the chest. So really keep powerhouse on, keep the chest nice and open, and pick up that weight. Place it on the leg of the outer thigh, and let's inhale and exhale, lift it up. Lifting the leg and lowering. So flex your ankle in order to reach through the heel and making sure that you are working your abductors and not your quads so much. If you point the toes and kind of turn the foot upward, you're going to change the effect of the entire exercise. So we're working the outer and inner thigh here by controlling the movement as we lift up and down. Make sure your head is in line with your spine. You don't want to have it propped in front or really cranked back. You just want to keep it aligned. You also don't want to drop it. You want to keep it in line with the rest of the body. So let's do 2 more. On this one, we're going to hold it here. Hold it. Let's pause it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release it. Enough of that. From here, let's set it up for our mermaid as we bring the foot in line. Bring that heel nice and close to your bottom. Bring your left hand beside you. Right arm out and lift. Reach up and over. Nice long line through the side body. Breathe in, look up past that top elbow. Press the floor away with your bottom hand and bring it all the way down. So from here, let's move into a seated position. We'll extend the legs out long. As you reach through the legs, we're coming into inclined plane because it is such good work for your shoulders as well as the core, the legs, glutes. Lots going on in that one as well. So if you need to make it a little bit easier, if you've been doing it for a while, you know to come into your reverse table as your option. So bring the hands back behind you. Your fingertips are pointed toward the top of your mat, towards your feet. Spread the fingers wide apart, just like you did for your plank. Your index fingers are pointed straight ahead, toes are pointed down. Open the chest and lift the hips up. So try to get the toes down if you can. Keep those hips lifted. The more you squeeze your glutes, the more you'll be able to straighten your body. From here, can you pick up your right leg without dropping your hips? That's the key. Press and lift the left leg and bring it up. Keep squeezing. Try not to drop those hips. You want to lift by really using the strength through the back of your grounded leg. Lifting up and lower. Lots of control. And lower. Keep those hips lifted. Last one. One side, probably easier than the other. Inhale, lift up a little higher. Press your toes down. Exhale, lower it all the way down. Excellent. From here, we're going to bring the feet a little bit wider than hip width. you're going to reach for either your lightest weights or your heaviest ones. Or not the heaviest, sorry, medium. Now feet are at least the width of your mat apart, maybe a little bit wider, maybe a little narrower, but the reason for that is that we want to use the positioning of our legs to help us to stay in a neutral spine. Now if you find that you're kind of rolling back, you might want to bend your knees. That will help you to really engage the abs to keep the back supported. You're going to pick up your weights from here, and you're starting out with the knuckles facing each other, so palms facing each other. Take a breath in. As you exhale, twist and reach those arms straight up. Bend at the elbow, bring them back in, and reach up. Open, bend, and in. Reach, open. So making sure that as you're doing the arm motion, you're not compromising what's going on in your core, in your spine. So keeping that belly nice and taut, so it's always keeping your back supported. So last one right here, we bring those weights to face each other, we open, we reach up, so we're reversing, and back down again. Open, reach, turn, and lower. So keep it going. So you might be feeling this in the shoulders. We've done quite a bit to those shoulders today. Remember, stay tall. If you need to drop your weights at any time, you can still do the exercise, just really making fists, really engaging the muscles in your arms and creating your very own resistance. I think I've messed it up. I've gone back to the same movement, but that's what happens when I talk. Hopefully you're still on track. From here, let's finish it up right here. Hold it open out to the sides with the elbows in line with your shoulders. Let's do little tiny pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it. Set those aside. Roll out the shoulders. Take a big breath in to open the arms wide. Take your right arm across. Give it a hug into the body. Just stretch into that shoulder as you squeeze the upper arm in toward your chest, just below the collarbones. Inhale to open again. Exhale, left arm comes across, hug it in using your right arm. So that really gives that shoulder a beautiful stretch. And let it go. And roll out, shake out the arms a little bit. From here, I'm going to move to the lightest weights that I have, so my 2-pound weights, and I'm going to bring the knees to a bend, so my feet are flat on the mat, and from here, I'm holding the weights out away from each other. So just have a slight bend. If you were to look at the Pilates box, my arms are so wide open, but they remain within that box. So I'm in line with my shoulders. From here, take a breath in and leaning back far enough so that you can feel yourself starting to have to engage. From here, we add a twist as we bring ourselves to the right. Inhale, open, or remain open. Exhale and twist. Center as you inhale. Exhale as you twist to the side. So the arms stay in position. The weights cause you to have to use a little bit more concentration in order to deliberately use those oblique muscles, use the rectus abdominis muscles here as well. Those 6-pack muscles are working hard to keep you supported. Last time on either side. And bring it center. Set those aside. Shake out the legs a little bit. Roll out your arms. Shake out the arms. Roll out the shoulders. Take a big breath and reach up. And exhale to fold over the legs. So just a nice, easy, passive stretch here. Gives you a nice opportunity to recover. Forward folds are known to be soothing and calming. So we want to engage that. And let's come all the way back up again. So going back to using the weights. Again, lightest probably is what you're going to want to use here because we're working really hard on our core as well as arms, chest. So from here, we're going to lean back again. But this time, we're going to cross the right ankle over the left as we lift the legs. Now, if that's too much, you could just keep your feet on the floor. So you find what's going to work best for you. We start out with the weights right in front of the chest as we reach right, left, right, left. Now, as you do this, try to keep the body really nice and still. So you're extending, you're holding, you're frozen in place except for the arm movement. Reach, reach, breathe in and out. Last one on each arm and bring it down. Bring the hands slightly behind you. Keep the knees bent. Let's press it up into a reverse table. So giving that body a really good opportunity to reverse the stretch and the position of the body, counterbalancing it. From here, let's move back to that same position, only this time cross opposite ankle over the other one. Again, you find the position that works best for you. From here, we lift and holding the weights just in front of the chest. Keep them in line with your sternum. Take a breath in and exhale to twist. Inhale, exhale. So this time, because the arms are staying close to the body, we have to really rely even more on the twisting of the waist. Always keeping those weights perfectly still. The only thing that's moving here is the rib cage. Let's do 2 more to each side. And bring it center. Set those aside. Make sure you have access to all of your weights because we're making our way down. You may want to use your heavier ones once we're down there. So just have them there in case. As we start seated, let's inhale from our neutral spine, tucking the chin in, and slowly unrolling to make your way down to a supine neutral position. Feels good. You've got lots of support here for your back. And as you open up through the chest, we're going to take, I'll take one of my heavier weights rather than the 2 of them. So holding on with both hands, however, making sure my heels are coming in close enough so that my knees are stacked above my ankles. My arms are reaching up, and from here the center back of my skull is pressing down. I'm going to lengthen my tailbone as I start to pick up the spine to come up into a bridge. So the arms start out extended directly above. From here I bend at the elbow, and the weight comes right at the top of my forehead, more toward the head. So you want to keep those arms still, so that the only thing that's moving here is the elbow is bending, allowing the forearm to lower, but my upper arm is fixed in place. Now, while I'm doing this, I am squeezing those glutes. I'm keeping my powerhouse engaged so that my back is always supported. My back never comes into play here. It's my glutes, it's my legs, and my core, while I get this bonus movement with the arms. So the triceps, which is right, the little muscles right at the back of the arm, that's where you get the definition in the upper arms from, is toning and really developing those muscles. So from here, we're going to finish up with another 5. Keep squeezing those glutes. Keep the hips nicely aligned. 4, 3. Keep those upper arms still. 2. And last one right here. Bring it down. Lower the hips. And you can set the weight aside for now. From here, you can open up the chest and bring your right arm up. Wrap the left one around and bring the palms together. So you try to connect those palms together. Cross your left leg on top of the right one. See if you can even maybe wind the legs together. So your elbows start out above your shoulders, your knees above your hips. And you can even rest your thumbs over your forehead. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, squeeze elbow toward the knees and lower it back down again. Inhale to open, exhale to squeeze. Breathing in when you're down here, breathing out as you squeeze to contract. And hold it here, hold it, intending the elbow to the knee. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. You're squeezing, trying to get them as close as you can to each other. And then release it and unwind. From here, separating the feet, coming back to your neutral positioning. From here, we bring up the left arm, we wrap the right one around. So it should be the opposite one this time. So you aim those palms toward each other. We cross the right leg on top of the left one, trying to hook those toes behind the ankle, but you don't have to. If the best you can do here is cross the legs, just go ahead and do that. Bringing the thumbs perhaps over your third eye, elbows lining up over top of the shoulders. Take a breath in as you exhale, squeeze and lift it up, and release. Squeeze, continuously intending the bottom ribs toward your hips. Every exhale is a little squeeze. Maybe if you're having difficulty getting them to connect, you can feel yourself getting a little bit closer each time. And last 3, 2, one more. Hold it right here. Hold, squeeze, 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 hold it. And release, unwind. And bring those arms at your sides and anchor them down. Walk the shoulder blades toward each other. Again, your heels are right underneath your knees. Lengthen your tailbone to peel and lift up into a bridge position. Lifting up the hips a little bit higher perhaps. We really squeeze through those glutes. Add some pulses here for 10. Squeezing a little bit more on each lift. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower it down. From here, we cross the left ankle on top of the right thigh. So you create a figure 4 here. You're going to take one of your weights. I'm going for a medium weight, placing it on my right shoulder, right chest. So I'm holding on to the weight here. I'm going to place my left fingertips right by the ear, opening up that left knee. Take a breath in, and exhale, lift and reach the right shoulder toward the left knee, and lower it down again. Inhale, exhale, lift and reach. So really focusing on controlled movement. So slower actually gives you more time under tension. Gives you more control over the execution of the movement as well. Breathing in, breathing out. And last 3, 2, and last 1. Bring it down. Let's switch it over. Bringing the left foot down, cross your right ankle over left. And again, as you hold the weight here with your left hand, right fingertips by the ear, really press that knee open, breathe in and breathe out, reaching across. Breathe in and breathe out. Taking your time to really feel the muscles at work. So really important to establish that mind-body connection as you go through this. So we're starting to make our way toward those final exercises this morning. So really maintaining the focus, not to let it go, but keep on, hold on just a little bit longer. Last two, and last one. From here, we move back to holding on to two weights. And I'm going to go with my medium ones. You could do medium, you could do whatever you have the energy for. We're coming into some chest presses. Now, bringing your heels again closer to your bottom. Both weights are reaching up, lifting and peeling the tailbone up. This time we're going to lift the toes up though off the floor as we really fire up those glutes. From here, weights are above the chest. So you don't want to have them above your face like this, but instead we want them right over the chest as we open the arms. Now you can have a soft bend in the elbows here and then bring them back toward each other. Opening and closing, keeping the alignment through your body as well. So really, really controlling that descent, bringing those weights back toward each other. So if you are using lighter weights, really focus on resisting the pull of gravity. So rather than just letting the arms fall open, instead resist the way down and resist the way back up again. So again, you're slowing down the movement, creating more time under tension as you hold steady, and you're still pressing through those heels, which is really firing up that posterior chain, the hamstrings, the calves, the glutes, working really hard. Let's finish it up right here with an open and hold. Hold it here. Let's add little pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring those arms back up, bend, release everything to the floor, and set your weights aside once again. So from here, we are going to lengthen the arms, lengthen the legs, to stretch open the entire body. As you get long, breathe in, find your neutral spinal alignment, and take a breath in, tuck the chin in, reach the arms forward, reach towards your toes, and lifting up to roll yourself up. Inhaling at the top, exhaling as you roll it back down again. Breathe in down here, breathe out, reach. Now, if you have been practicing this for a while and you'd like to move on, to make it get a little bit more challenging, just place the fingertips by the ears to help you to roll up, breathing in and breathing out. So we'll finish up with one last one. Go slow, go with lots of control, take your time articulating through your spine to come all the way back up again. Release the arms down, roll out your shoulders a little bit here. Let's move into some stretches from here. I'm going to turn it around and come onto the hands and knees. Bring the the knees a little wider than hip width as we push back into a nice wide angle child's pose, intending the tailbone back. reaching the fingertips away as you come onto the pads of the fingers for spider hands. And as you keep reaching away with your right hand, take the left arm, thread it through toward the right side. Rest your left ear on the mat. You can keep your right arm extended, or you can reach it up, maybe wind it right around the low back, prying your chest open here as you look up. And then release, extend it out. Reach it out, push that tailbone back, taking your right arm over to the left side, right ear comes down, and reach up to the sky, look up, breathe, take that arm, place it to the low back as you continue to pry your chest open, and then release it, bring the hands back to your mat. Once again, we come into a few cow-cats here. Breathing in and then breathing out to articulate. And from here, let's come into table, but making some circles with the hips. This is so soothing and massaging to the hip area, the lower back. Switch, go the other way a few times around. And let's move back to our table, stepping the right foot forward to come into a nice long low lunge. So back up your left knee as far back as you need to. Bring your right foot as far forward as you need to, sinking your hips. You may even want to take the arms up here, maybe even bring the hands together to lengthen the fingers to really get lots of length. Press through that front hand. Bring your left hand outside the right knee. Right hand to the right hip to create a twist, looking back past that back shoulder, and then unwind it and push your hips back, flipping the toes up to bring your belly over top of that front leg. As you bring that foot down, turn the toes out diagonally, tuck the back toes under to come into a nice long side lunge here. So sinking in a side angle. You can turn the toes forward again. You can even bring the bottom hand under the shoulder, pressing that knee open. Bring the arm down, and let's walk it across to the opposite side. So we come into that same stretch on the other side, sinking into the hips nice and low. Make sure you tuck your tailbone here so that you focus on getting really nice and deep into the hips. You can extend your opposite arm upward, looking up to that hand as you sink into it. And then bringing it all the way back down. From here, we pivot, bring the back knee to the floor, and sinking into that front heel. So open up the chest here. Keep the hands low, or see if you can make your way up. Nice and high. Reach, interlace the fingers except for the index fingers. Reach up to the sky, open up the chest, bring the hands to the heart, and the right hand reaches across, left hand to your hip to bring you into a nice twist. And then let it go. Bring the weight back as you push your hips back. Now we get into the hamstring on that left leg as we bow over top of it. And as we bend that leg, you can bring yourself to a seated position, comfortable seated position for you. Open up the arms and bring them up over top of the shoulders. Take your right hand and bring it between your shoulder blades. Slide the left hand onto the elbow to open your chest a little bit more. You can get into the ribs this way. Really stretch the tricep. We did quite a bit of work between push-ups and kickbacks. Reach up. Take your left hand between the shoulder blades. Right hand guides it. Back of the head presses in here. Breathe into that tricep. And then release and shake it out. Roll out those shoulders and take a final big stretch. Bring the palms together. Let them land with your heart. Take a moment and just notice how good you feel. And bringing your practice to close this morning. Thank you so much.